How's everybody doing? Welcome to All This Math. Today, we're going to do some multiplication with polynomials. All right. So here we have what's called a trinomial. Just like a tricycle has three wheels, a trinomial has three terms. 1, 2, 3. And terms are separated by plus signs and minus signs, right? Because you might see something one day like 5x squared y to the fifth. And you might say to yourself, well, isn't this 1, 2, 3 terms? Actually, no. This is actually one term, okay? That stands alone. It's one term by itself. Because remember, terms are separated by plus signs and minus signs. Now let me try to make that a little clear, because I realize that might be not be that clear. So what if I had 4x squared y to the fifth plus 3x minus 8? Look for the plus and minus signs, right? There go a plus sign right there. So that's one term. This is another term. There's a minus sign right here. So that's another term. All right. And actually, this would be considered a negative 8. All right. But just understand that terms are separated by plus signs and minus signs. I just wanted to throw that in there, you know. All right. So what are we doing here? We have a trinomial, like I said, multiplied by a binomial. And we know to multiply because these are our instructions, multiply. Also, we know to multiply because between these parentheses, there is no other operational symbol. There's no plus sign, no minus sign, no division sign. Whenever that happens, that means we're doing multiplication. Now, how do we do it though? So we know what to do. Now we need to think about how do we do it? How do we multiply this trinomial by this binomial? This is how you do it. You do it one pair of terms at a time. So what this basically means is that every term in these parentheses, every individual term in these parentheses needs to be multiplied by every term in these parentheses. So for starters, I'm going to do this. I'm going to multiply x squared by x squared. All right? And then I'm going to multiply x squared by negative 2. So the first question, how do I multiply x squared by x squared? When you're multiplying two terms that have the same base and there are exponents involved, all you do is you write that base down. So in this case, the base is x. And then you have to follow the exponent rule that deals with multiplication. When you multiply terms, you add the exponents. Memorize that or write it down in your notes if you don't already know it. When you multiply terms, you add the exponents. So this 2 plus this 2 equals 4. So my new term is x to the 4th power. Then I need to multiply x squared by negative 2. All right, notice it's a negative 2 because of that minus sign. So really what I'm doing is I'm doing this invisible 1, which is in front of the x squared, times negative 2, which is negative 2. And then I just attach the x squared. So now I've multiplied x squared by everything inside these parentheses. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the x. Now I got to multiply x by everything inside these parentheses. Then I'm going to multiply the negative 2 by everything inside these parentheses. All right, and I do it step by step, and I keep everything organized and orderly. So now I'm going to do positive x times x squared. So when I do that, now again, I got an x and an x. So I write x, and then I add the exponents. Now you might be saying, but wait, this doesn't have an exponent. Whenever you see that situation, and I'm going to do a video about this a little later on, but whenever you see that situation where you see no exponent, just understand there's an invisible 1 exponent right there. This has an invisible 1 exponent. So really, I'm adding 1 plus 2, which gives me 3. So now that becomes x to the 3rd power. And then I got to also multiply x by negative 2. So I got this invisible 1 in front of here, which gets multiplied by negative 2. And then I just attach the x to the negative 2. So now I got 1, 2, 3, 4 terms because I multiplied this term by both of these and this term by both of these. Now I got to do the same thing with the negative 2. So now it's going to be negative 2 times x squared, which is minus 2x squared, like I had right here. And then it's going to be negative 2 times negative 2. Now, always remember, when you multiply two negatives, your answer is a positive. When you're doing multiplication and division in algebra or dealing with just negative numbers doing arithmetic, remember to yourself that 2 wrongs make a right. 2 wrongs make a right. 2 negatives make a positive. Two negatives make a positive. Now, that only applies to multiplication and division, though. That don't apply to addition and subtraction. That only applies to multiplication and division. So this negative 2 multiplied by this negative 2 is going to give us a positive 4. All right. Now, we did the multiplication part, right? Everything has been multiplied. Now, the next step for us is we're going to look for like terms. Now, what are like terms? Like terms are terms that have the same variable and the same exponent. That's one type of like term. The other like terms are numbers. All numbers are alike. All numbers are alike. And in this particular problem, there's only one. When I say numbers, I mean numbers that don't have a variable attached to them. Like this is a number, this is negative 2, but it's got a variable attached to it. So this is really a x squared. This is really a x. This is another x squared. This is a 4. So this is the type of number I'm talking about when I'm talking about numbers, but there's no other plain numbers. I think of them as plain numbers. All plain numbers are alike. So decimals, fractions, this positive 4, they will be alike. So we look for like terms. Okay, I see that this is a negative 2x squared, and this is a negative 2x squared, right? Nothing else is alike. Nothing else matches up. This is x to the 4th. There's no other x to the 4th term. This is x to the 3rd. There's no other x to the 3rd term. This is negative 2x. There's no other x term in this whole expression. So we're about to be finished. So all we got to do is write x to the 4th. And then usually when we write these expressions, we write the terms in the order of descending value of the exponent. So meaning my first term is going to have the biggest exponent. My next term is going to have the next biggest exponent. So here we go, x to the 3rd. And then I deal with my terms that have a 2 exponent. So negative 2x squared minus 2x squared is minus 4x squared. And then we go to negative 2x right there. And then that deals with all the x's. And then I got to just bring this positive 4 down here, right? So that's what I got. So now my final answer is x to the 4th power plus x to the 3rd power minus 4x squared minus 2x plus 4. All right. And I want to also acknowledge or give a shout out to my little cousin, Kayla, who requested this problem, has some questions about it, and I hope it really helps. I hope it kind of clarifies. I think she kind of already understood it and already got it, but I just wanted to, give a visual and do a video about this particular problem, and I hope it helps. All right. So please like the video, like the page, subscribe to the page, tell people about it, and also remember that there's all this math all around you.